Pretty excited to go do this tour. Spencer and I have been really good friends for probably 15 years. Personal and professional associates, do a lot of business together. I've learned a lot from him and it's been a really good relationship. So his business has expanded tremendously over the time that I've watched him. I mean, he's owned a business a lot longer than I have and was one of the people that really inspired me to want to go into business for myself. And he's done an incredible job creating an awesome culture, a really niche market that is a tough one to be successful in. A lot of people try to do what he does and fail. But I thought we'd just start here today, see the shop, go check out some job sites, so it should be a lot of fun. We're just gonna tour the shop. The idea is take a business owners, visit their shops, learn a little bit about what's made them successful, and then go visit project sites and try to help other business owners, small business owners, entrepreneurs learn what not to do or what to do, you know, depending on the situation, lessons learned.
So it was 2000 when we started. I was just an operator, ran a truck, was cutting, and a friend of mine came and approached me and wanted to start a business cutting concrete. We did that for about 6 months, and my partner, we had some differences, so he wanted out, and so I kind of took it over and changed the name to Ashton Sawing and Drilling and just went to work. And I've been asked, like, hey, you know, what's your goals to grow the business and stuff like that, but it was never really, we just kind of went to work, answered the phone, provided a good service for our clients, and kind of just grew organically.
Tell us about your shop a little bit, man.
We built this place in 2015. Before that, I had a shop in Conroe.
That's like 30 miles north of town. So
Yeah.
a lot of your work's back and forth, and your fuel costs were ridiculous.
Yeah, it saved us a ton of money on fuel and labor, and wear and tear on the trucks was a big deal as well, you know.
And then you guys built this place yourself.
Yeah.
And how many people you guys office here? This is corporate headquarters.
Yeah, we have around 200 employees. Majority of them are here. We have a job in New Mexico, and then we have an office in Dallas, and then we just started a new location in New Orleans.
We cut everything that's concrete: doors, holes, flat sawing, demo, break, haul off. We've got wire saws, we'll cut bridge columns, anything selective demo type of cutting we do. A lot of plumbing for our core drilling stuff. It's a lot of plumbing, core drilling for mechanical and pipes and whatnot. So that's kind of a snapshot a little bit. And then we started back in, with your help, we started placing concrete, and I guess that was around 2008, 2009. And then we also started a flooring. We started polishing concrete and epoxy terrazzo.
I mean, this is a big part of who Spencer Ashton is, right? Avid outdoorsman, hunter. Some of the greatest adventures have been in the woods, tracking these things down. Well, let's see the shop a little bit. Okay. Give us a quick tour. This is kind of looks like the heart of the business right here.
Yeah, this is where all the deals go down.
Now, this is
our golf simulator.
This is the secret sauce, right? This is what makes Ashton Sawing and Drilling what it is. Yeah. How you close the deal on the golf course, you just bring it to your office.
Yeah, we can play 18 holes at Pebble Beach here.
One of the things that I've always admired about Spencer has been relationships. You know, ability to meet people quickly, build a relationship, and then, you know, do business with those folks. And I've talked to I don't know how many guys that say, I remember when Spencer was out there on the saw when he first started his business. Yeah. And now he's got 200 employees. And some of those guys are still doing business with you.
I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't this relationship.
Sure,
Certainly,
sure.
You know, the whole reason I wanted to do this podcast, and especially have you be a big part of the startup of it, was this concept of a circle of network business relationships. You know, when we met, I was working for a general contractor in an office, and I hear this voice coming down the hallway, shaking hands and kissing babies. And here comes Spencer Ashton into my office. I think you were talking to somebody about hunting. Was that the theme?
I believe
at the
that's
time?
what it was.
Right?
And then you invited yourself on the hunt. So
Yeah,
we
this
were
is
going
where-
hunting
this is
that
where
weekend.
this is where
and-
the discussion.
yeah, well,
There's a fork in the
you
road
know.
right here, because I think it was you're talking about how you like to whitetail hunt. You're a bow hunter, and I happened to throw out there, "Hey, I like to bow hunt too." I'm pretty sure. Then from there was some sort of an invitation that took place, like, "Hey, next time you should join us."
Well,
or was
I
that,
felt bad for
was
you.
that kind of a?
I felt
Oh, it was
bad.
a pity invite.
Well, kind of.
Okay.
So
I mean, utilizing those sorts of opportunities, a hunt to go hang out, for us, it really changed the whole dynamic.
look, business development guys, they preach, hey, like you got to take the right guys. And at the time, you probably weren't the right person to take hunting.
Probably not.
But at the end of the day, it was like you were the right guy. So this is a new truck we're putting together. We're mounting a 480 generator to the PTO drive. Power comes up here. This will be a wall saw, wire saw. We put a 10,000 pound lift gate on it so we can run our DXRs, our robotic hammers. I'll show you that in a minute. Cost is about the same, but you lose the weight of the
Yeah.
gen set on the flat.
and you get some more space.
Yeah.
You get access
That's
to
a
more
big
space
deal.
on the bed. So this is at the heart of your service operations, are these trucks.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
How they're laid out,
Yep.
what they can do.
Yep. One of our competitive edges is our equipment, and we spend a lot of money on it, but
Yeah, you guys, I've noticed that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys invest in the right stuff.
yeah. So this is something we put in place. We have an app. We talk to all of our service department in, and they post pictures. So this is them, our actual operators posting pictures.
So tell us
Good
about
stuff.
your culture. I mean, one thing I've noticed, you've got a lot of guys that worked a long time with
Yeah.
you. You work on culture a lot. How important has that been for the success of your business?
You can't put a price on it. You know, we went with this company called High Performance Culture. You have your core values, right?
Yeah.
But they're all nouns.
Okay.
So what's the action for honesty and integrity? You know,
Yeah. I
what's the
gotcha.
action? So we come up with 28
Yeah.
fundamentals, we call them, or behaviors.
Yeah.
And so those 28 behaviors,
Those form the basis.
we do one a week.
Okay.
So we start on one. We're on week 17. Be proactive.
Okay.
So we've been doing this for 17 weeks.
I've got you.
So everybody in the whole company's doing number 17 this week.
Oh, that's cool.
So what we try to do is spread it out in their teams. So each one of the employees does it. Like it's your week to be proactive. For 5 minutes, you need to talk and give an example of something.
Oh, wow.
So that way everybody's involved.
Trying to get employees to feel like they have a vested interest in the company's success, in having a voice,
Yeah.
helps create that commitment to the organization, to the culture.
Yeah.
And you've done that as good as
Yeah.
anybody that I've seen.
Yeah.
And part of the results of that has been long-lasting employees,
Yeah.
people that help share the culture.
Put it this way, you know it's working when you have a guy that you fired, okay, wasn't doing his job. 2 months later, he comes back, begs for his job back. We give him another chance, comes back, and probably doing this 4 weeks, or I think it was 8 weeks, and he gets Employee of the Month.
Really.
A guy that was doing everything wrong, and then
Comes back and just
comes
starts
back, the guy's
performing.
a superstar. Great
Wow.
guy. Great kid.
Awesome.
So turnover is virtually, I mean, people want to be here. You know, we have operators coming like, hey, you know, when a truck opens up, we'll call you.
Well, and
versus just
Yeah.
going around begging for operators.
Well,
trying
and
to find out.
the tough thing about this industry, I imagine, I mean, it's hard work.
Yeah.
You're cutting concrete. I mean, it's dangerous. And so guys have to get burned out, or, you know, you've got to find a way to keep people motivated, keep them energized,
Yeah.
keep them safe. And, you know, I would think when they find a company that's doing that, they're going to gravitate to that place.
Yeah.
What else you got going on in the
All
shop?
right, so
You're-
this is our inventory room here. Our diamond blades, we stock them here.
Dude, these are some serious.
Yeah.
And you got locks on these. Why you got them locked up?
Well,
They're
very
expensive, right?
Yeah, they're very expensive.
How much does one of these blades run?
We run 22-inch blades, you know, a $400 or $500 blade. Now, these wall blades are probably $1,500 a piece. And then we have our larger diameter blades, you know, like this is a 48-inch wall blade. This is our biggest blade. It's a 72-inch.
So you're cutting concrete and then you're doing core drilling.
This is a 9-inch bit here.
But these are also diamond.
Diamond, yep. Here's
This is the Boss. That's some branding right there, dude. I like that.
Here's one that's been used.
Hard rock.
A little bit. But we cut all the way, you know, small diameter, 3/4 of an inch, 5/8 is the smallest we go, all the way up to 48-inch diameter. These are our robotic hammers that we use to do a lot of selective demolition.
Okay.
We've taken down some 10-story buildings with them. They'll fly them up on the roof.
This is remote operated then?
Yeah.
You got someone with a controller that's operating this thing?
Yeah, I can operate the machine and stand 15 or 20, 30 feet away.
Yeah.
If that machine, it happens, the floor comes out or whatever and it breaks, the machine can fall off.
So it's
The
from a
operator
safety perspective, it's
Big deal. And this is one of our diesel saws they're working on.
so you've got full-time, I mean,
3 full-time guys in
three
my
full-time
shop, just
guys
working.
in the shop, just
Yeah.
repairing stuff, getting them prepped,
Yep.
getting them ready,
Yep.
putting them on the road. Kind of like having you drive me around, by the way.
Cool, isn't it? This is
Pretty
awesome.
freaking sweet, dude.
I just bought it. I'm like,
God
I'm
dang.
tired. My guy, well, I catch my guys driving the forklift across into the yard. There's 3 of them on it, and I'm like, guys, you can't do that. Somebody falls off and gets hurt, or we
Yeah.
bought the cart. So I've got a 14,000 square foot retail going there.
Oh, wow.
And then I got a 5,000 square foot building that we're going to put there and put our concrete construction estimators
Oh,
in,
sweet.
and move all of our polishing equipment out of our shop. We're out of room in our shop, so we're expanding a little bit.
So we've been talking here for 30, 40 minutes, but we've also been doing this together for 15 years. So for the folks here that aren't aware of what saw cutting and core drilling and all this means, how does this apply to the rest of the world? I mean, when is this put in use? When are your services needed?
So our coring, you know, all of our round diameter coring stuff is usually for mechanical, for plumbing, you know, multi-level stories that we're drilling holes for renovation, for plumbing, you know.
You're
There's-
mostly in
we do-
in commercial environment,
Yeah, commercial, industrial,
and we've got to
manholes. You know, they
Yeah.
need to tie in a manhole. We'll cut a, you know, hole for their pipe to go in the manhole.
Or also, I would imagine, for renovation projects. If there's
Yeah,
a
sure.
building that's being repurposed for something else, and they want to put a doorway where there was never a doorway,
Yeah.
and it's concrete or precast or tilt wall,
Sure.
you guys come in and
Yeah.
they call you to
Cut
come
it
saw
out.
that open, right?
Yeah.
Let's go look at a project and
Sure.
put our eyeballs on what you guys
Sure.
really do.
So they're building the second floor,
So they're cutting
and we're
window
cutting window openings. So
This is like a 8-inch panel,
yeah, 8.5.
8.5
that's
inch
my-
panel?
Yeah.
and then he cores these holes and brings the lull around and pulls it out to set it down.
Yeah. And because of the weight, he's cutting them in half. See, that's
okay.
2 pieces there.
So who does the calculation on when you need to cut it in half, when the weight is too much? Because that could be a huge
risk, your guy
Our-
comes out
our
here with a
sales
little,
guys will
the
do that.
sales guy tells him how he needs to make these cuts.
Yeah, how he bid the job. On their work order or their field ticket, they'll have all that information, the estimate on how the sales guy put it all together and how he bid the job.
Okay. Do you break the panel up here, or do you haul it off?
Yeah, well, depending on the size, if it's, on something like that, we'll probably just throw it in the truck. But
Okay.
our rigs, we carry a Bobcat with a hammer, so they
you
can
can
just
break
hammer
it.
it up and put it in the truck if they need to.
And are they paying extra for the haul off? Are there
Yeah.
times that you're just like, I'll cut it and you handle it, or do you want me to haul it off?
So it'll be line item.
Okay.
So if they want the haul off, it'll be a line item on that's how our books, and it'll be a separate work order number, so everything's tracked in our system. So at the end of the year, I can say we did this much haul off, we did this much slurry containment, we did this much wall sawing. So each, if it's core drilling, wall sawing, diesel sawing, whatever it is,
Yeah.
has its own work order number.
Okay. And then you're probably able to track the productivity of each of your workers as well. So you can see how they're performing.
And I can also track the production of the individual service.
Okay. So you're staging out all this equipment, getting
Yep.
it set up.
And they're gonna demo the wall and then lay it out.
You mount these to the wall?
Yep, those feet we'll put on the wall, and then the track mounts to that. And then the saw, these rollers, you put these rollers on the track and then locks it on the track. This is the drive motor that drives it on the track.
Oh, sweet. That's pretty slick, man. It's lighter weight, compact.
Oh yeah, and then when I first started, I was sawing with a GDM, and it's a 100-pound saw,
Really?
and it goes on the end of the track.
Oh, man.
Oh, so you have to pick it up
Heave it up there.
and put it on the track, slide it on the track, and then all hydraulics, big hoses.
He'll run a cable from the truck to here,
Yes.
and he's pulling power off the truck.
Yeah. He's gonna make a flush cut on the bottom and cut that panel flush with the floor. So when they go to install their door with the threshold and everything sits flush with the existing floor.
How often do you see new businesses trying to do what you do?
That happens all the time.
Or employees that are
Yeah.
like, hey, I think I can go do this. I'm
It
going to try to
happens.
do this.
That doesn't happen a lot, but the Dallas market's a challenge. You get a lot of guys that are, one truck, two truck,
Yeah.
owner operator, they
Yeah.
don't have the overhead we have, so they can
Go
obviously,
in, do small jobs.
yeah.
The perception is it's not that hard, right? You go
Yeah.
buy a saw, you buy a truck, you're in business. But you also see a lot of companies fail because you start getting into liability and insurance and performance issues, and so you get someone that does a couple jobs and they have a problem, and all of a sudden they're out of business.
The cash flow is just huge. We're not getting paid sometimes 90 days
Yeah.
because all of our contracts are paid when paid. That's probably the most challenging issue is the cash. You have to have some cash to, stomach the storm, It's-
What's been the key for you to be able to weather through that, to manage good cash flow management? Is it relationships with your vendors and suppliers, or?
Probably the most important thing is communication with who you're working with and for. Because what'll happen is we'll do this job, and let's say they widen it 2 foot, just
Yeah.
in the field. The operator just cuts it and he puts it on the ticket.
Yeah,
And the sales guys, we try to keep that from happening,
yeah,
but the scope changed.
yeah.
So the sales guy has to make sure that he sends
He's gotta
his
document
contact,
it.
document it, make sure.
Get it all papered
Well,
up so that we got a history of what took place.
And in the past, we would just change it and send it. Send them an invoice. And nowadays, you cannot.
do that.
You can't just send somebody an invoice that's different than what you quoted based on the scope change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
They're gonna go.
that's-
Where was this approved?
I think the way to get paid faster is to communicate with your client and have it rock solid on the terms that me
Yeah.
and you agree on.
Yeah.
So if any of the thing is different, the customers will sit on it.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest challenge
Yeah.
because we do so many jobs
Yeah.
and something can slip through the cracks. And
that
and
adds up
it's-
quick.
Yes.
Yeah. How much does that panel chunk of concrete weigh?
Probably about 6,500 pounds right around there.
I mean, enough to crush you and kill you.
And they've dropped the panel on saws before, and I mean,
Yeah. Damage equipment.
so he'll wedge it, usually in the bottom, and then put one on the side. So when on his last cut, it doesn't just fall out. And then when he gets ready to drop it, he'll knock them out, push the wall over.
Ah, I got you. Yeah.
Thanks, dude. Is this it for today? 10 more. Awesome. Good work, dude. Be safe.
Man, I really appreciate you coming out this morning.
You bet.
We've got a lot more stories to share.
Likewise, appreciate you having me, and this is fun.
Yeah,
so
we'll do
anytime,
it again.
For
Thank
sure.
you, bud.
You got
All
it.
right.
Thanks, Mark.